All right, Mike. It's nice to meet you. I'm Gary.
Gary, Mike Letson.
Mike, Gary Heisel. So tell me about your trip. I understand it's a in memory trip. Is that correct?
Right. It's a memorial, rolling memorial to my father-in-law, whom I never met. But he was killed in Vietnam in March 1969. And he left a wife and 3 young daughters. And so, you know, we married, my wife and I married when I was 20, she was 19. Been together ever since. So it's just one of those things that we had a common bond. We both lost a parent at an early age. A lot in common that way. And so we decided that we would...
Time out.
That might be mine.
Must have been.
Yeah, I think that's my GoPro. It'll shut off after a few minutes. So anyway, we decided that when we were going to take this trip, I wanted to have this sign. And this sign is from a road in Dublin, Georgia, that was dedicated to Colonel Stinson back, I don't know, must have been 10 years ago now, maybe even more. So each of the daughters got one of these signs. And so we've kept ours. We've had it on a boat dock. We've had it in our condo transom window. And so when we sold our place, I said, well, we're putting that in the bus. And we're going to make this trip and all of our trips a rolling tribute to him.
Wonderful.
So he, a lot of people confuse me. They think that I'm the lieutenant colonel. And that's not something I want to do. I wanted to make it specifically clear that this is a dedication to somebody else that he's given his life. He's paid the ultimate sacrifice. And his daughters and his wife even suffered more. Yeah. It was tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. And then when you say you're doing this in honor of somebody else, you know, that's exactly what I'm doing with my Jeep.
Yeah.
For my dad. Now, tell me about your service.
Well, I was a Navy guy, so I was a bilge rat. I was a diesel mechanic on a tin can, a destroyer.
Yeah.
And so it was a fairly small ship compared to many ships that are in the Navy.
Right.
But yeah, I did my time. It wasn't for me to be a career sailor.
Yeah.
I wasn't a guy that could have somebody telling me what to do every day, 24 hours a day. That's just not in my DNA.
You want a little bit of freedom.
A little freedom, a little more independence than that, yeah.
So how many years did you serve?
I served 2 years on active and 4 years in the active reserves.
Thank you for my freedoms. I appreciate that.
Wow.
I enjoy them every day, by the way.
Yeah, well, thank you. Your dad has made the contribution, a major contribution as well.
Yes, he has.
A World War II vet.
Yeah. Yeah, he served on the LST and made the contribution then, and you know, he downplays it and doesn't want it to be, but a whole, like, I'm sure you've met some guys from that time, and that's the way they are.
Yeah, and I think that's the humble nature of many of the old generation like that. You know, they don't look to draw attention to themselves.
Yeah. So I understand this is going to be, what, 6-month trip for y'all?
Yeah, we've been on the road since March, but we live in this full time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so this is our home. Been on the road since March. Probably won't get back to Florida until September, October, maybe.
Maybe before it gets cold.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fine. We got heat, and we got the nice diesel burner that gives us heat, so that's not a problem. We don't mind to be in the cold environment.
Yeah,
we've actually enjoyed this trip coming up from Florida to through Canada and into Alaska now. Yeah.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you taking your time. I did give him a ride.
You did give me a ride. I loved it. Loved it. The old Jeep is sweet. She is so sweet. Purrs like a kitten.
But I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me, and thank you for taking a ride. And it's very nice to meet you, Mike.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Love you, brother.
All right. Love you too.